What's up, everyone? By popular demand, I'm going to start making more cooking videos and giving you guys the actual instructions on how to make it. So today I'm making Chile Verde with a few simple ingredients: tomatillos, white onions, jalapeno, some pork. And I don't usually use regular bell peppers, but since it's green, I'm going to fucks with it. So the first thing you want to do is take the husks off of these tomatillos. Some people think these are like green tomatoes, but they're actually part of the gooseberry family. How do I know that? I'm fat. Fat people know a lot of facts about food. People think that most of the heat is in the seeds, but it's not in the seeds, it's actually in the veins. So you actually got to peel this. See this right in here? You got to peel that part out. And if you don't use gloves and you peel it with your hands, make sure you wash your hands really well before you go to the bathroom. Try it and you'll know why. Okay, so I peeled the tomatillos, I added a few garlics, peeled the white onions, there's the bell pepper and there's the jalapeno. And if you look closely, yes, my cutting board is simply a piece of cardboard. You're going to see that I added a few tomatoes. So what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to roast the chilies and the jalapenos and the tomatillos and the onion and the garlic so it gives it a nice toasty flavor. Whatever the fuck that means. You want to put some water to boil, because all of this is going to go into this little pot. I would usually use a bigger pot, but this is all I got right now. Hasn't quite come to a boil, but you want to cook these well because all this is going to have to turn into liquid. And usually you put it in a blender, but I don't have a blender, so I'm just going to have to cut it with a fork until it all liquefies. So I'm going to try to cook this down as well as I can. So the real VIP of this show is the pork. So you want to season the pork a little bit before you prepare it to cook. So I just put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, because most of the flavor is going to come from the chilies and the tomatillos. But you might want to taste it every once in a while because you might have to add a little bit more salt because the pork without the salt flavor is kind of bland. So make sure you taste every once in a while and add salt as needed. But don't taste it before the pork is cooked. Otherwise you won't get sick. So right now I'm browning the pork. Here's the pork. And like I said, usually you would put this in the blender first, but since I don't have a blender, I'm gonna pour it right in, and then we'll, liquefy it as we go. So we're gonna put this down to about 2 or 3. We're about to set it and forget it. So like I said, you're gonna want to cook that pork low and slow. I'm going to cook it for about 2 hours, depending on how big the cut is and what type of pork it is. It might take a little bit less, it might take a little longer, so we'll check it in 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm going to make some rice. I got beans cooking. I might even have a little drink. So once all the pork and spices and chilies come together, you can see how they've coagulated. It's almost ready. Chile Verde, rice, beans, and you always gotta have a fresh made flour tortilla with the marks from the stove on it.